I know Sony stole the spotlight from GTA 6 with their absolutely indefensible decision to remove physical media moving forward. Well, I say indefensible, but Asmongold, friend of the channel, great guy, love him very much. Very close friends, by the way, you know it. Did say that that's a good choice and has supported Sony in this and defended this decision. So I guess it's not indefensible. But in any case, GTA 6 is still a massive problem with their absolutely unbelievably anti consumer practices. And honestly, at this point, I think saying that Rockstar thinks we're stupid is kind of on point because let's be real for a moment here. GTA 6 has a minimum of 10 million pre orders already confirmed. Minimum. And it goes up as high as 50 million at this point, which is an unconfirmed number, but it does look very believable considering you literally have people who are buying it off eBay for $50 extra because these people actually believe that the I'm trying to contain myself. They believe that the digital codes are gonna run out, so they should buy from scalpers. That is an unbelievable level of stupidity. Maybe Rockstar is onto something here.
Alright, we're going to talk about GTA 6 and Sony in this video, cause yikes. So first, GTA 6 revealed just how much the game is going to be. It's $80 for the light edition and $100 for the base edition.
Oh, for the full edition with the game not cut in half.
And you know, with the light edition, there's cars, guns, clothes, garages, entire mod and tattoo shops, clothing stores, a whole game compound that will assumingly have a ton of missions, and a very cool sounding classic car roundup mission are all not included. The $100 base edition is just the full game. All of that stuff only comes with the $100 edition. And
Yeah, and as we know, some people said that this $100 proposition is actually very consumer friendly because the value that they add into the $100 edition is really good. Now, I'm not saying that we should resume the witch hunts, but modernize them. But maybe we should resume the witch hunts and modernize them. Wouldn't be bad at this point.
I mean, at least to me, that makes the $80 one just totally inferior. Like, why would you ever really bother with it? And I mean, Rockstar and Take-Two, they know this. They know how long everybody has been waiting. And they know if they lock some of the game behind a $20 price tag and call it premium, then everybody's pretty much going to do it. But make no mistake, the $80 is the light edition and the $100 is the base edition. I figured we could quickly compare how they've done this in the past. So for GTA 5, we had the $60 base edition, an $80 special edition, and a $150 collector edition, which makes you wonder when the collector edition is going to be announced for GTA 6. Probably after a whole bunch of pre-orders are already in and people have to just, just suck it up and buy another.
Probably after a month after its release. Probably, maybe even honestly. Well, no, they can do a special collector's edition for PlayStation and Xbox separately, and then they can do one for PC. It looks like Rockstar is dead set on milking as much money as absolutely possible from the consumers here. They are doing every single bad business practice ever, except one, which kind of boggles my mind. Did they just forget about it? I don't. Maybe I missed it, but I'm not seeing a 5 day or 3 day early access period for the deluxe edition or anything like that. So I'm kind of wondering, did they forget about it?
Edition, I guess. All of the editions of GTA 5 got a pre-order bonus blimp. And for GTA 6, I guess you get some vintage Vice City apparel for pre-ordering. So kind of the same there. The $80 special edition for GTA 5 came with a steelbook, a map, stunt plane trials, and clothing and weapons. So the clothing and weapons have kind of been standard for a long time. And the stunt plane trials were even like in-game activities that you could do, but it's pretty light. The $150 collector's edition came more with physical merch, like the money bag and the hat, but also in-game there were more cars and garages, and I guess there was that special ability boost too. And I think the point here is that they've always kind of done.
I played through GTA 6, never figuring out that there is a special ability. I had no idea. I never once activated it even on accident.
Stuff like this. You know, a lot of companies do like pre-order bonuses and extra editions with more content in them. But for some reason, it feels even more egregious with GTA 6. I mean, when you go to the page that shows you all the stuff you get with the $100 edition,
It doesn't feel more egregious. It is more egregious. Again, it's 100% on point that Rockstar is sitting to gain every single penny that they can from GTA 6. They are not missing out on this.
I mean, that shit just keeps scrolling. You're like, when does it end? And then you combine it with the fact that they're starting at $80 already, but everyone knows the $80 one kind of sucks, so the price tag really is $100 here. If you want the full GTA 6 experience, it's $100. So I think that combined with just how much stuff is locked behind the $100 edition, that's what people are feeling here. And I mean, they were doing the same thing with Red Dead 2. On launch, the editions went from 60, 80, and 100 this time. And the $80 one had story content locked behind it, a whole bank robbery mission. There was even a gang hideout locked behind it too. And I think even back then, people kind of felt that the $60 one was the light edition, and we were already at like the $80 being the base. And this is just kind of a continuation of that. And it all comes back to FOMO. If you don't know, it's the fear of missing out. It's when you see everybody else experiencing something and you want to experience it too. And it's the number one moneymaker in gaming. GTA 6 is the ultimate FOMO product.
He's right about that, by the way. Unironically true.
Take-Two and Rockstar are taking full advantage of that. I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it seems like it's going to be now. Now, something else that's very popular in the news right now are physical code and box editions, which is so funny because I just talked about this with Bethesda and I think last video maybe, which by the way was 2 weeks ago. Sorry about that. But on launch, all physical GTA copies will be code in box. The official reasoning is leaks. You know, they don't want it to get all leaked out and everything because that kind of stuff happens with games. It even happened with AC Shadows, and that wasn't even like a huge game or anything. And I want to be clear that no matter what you've seen online to this point, Take-Two or Rockstar have not confirmed a future disc release. Rumors exist for both sides of this, but there's been no official stance whatsoever. Now, with all that said, there is a saying in gaming: no one hates their fans as much as Nintendo. Now, with that in mind, remember this.
That is true. That is true. And by the way, unironically, some people think that Nintendo is a good company. Nintendo is selling you used Pokemon stickers for fortunes. For literal fortunes. Everything Nintendo has is overpriced.
Ad.
This is how you share your games on PS4.
Llama!
Thanks.
PlayStation.
That was the official PlayStation used game instructional video. Real fast, it has over
Irony.
20 million views and over 500,000 likes. That's really good for an ad. This was, of course, in response to Xbox One's DRM, and it greatly improved their PR going into the PS4 generation. And I bring up Nintendo because it's just one of the greatest self-owns online now. Like, Sony is really gunning for that #1 spot. Because on July 1st, Sony announced that physical disc production will end in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. So what this means is that any new game they release after January 2028 will not get a physical release. Now,
So, by the way, a lot of people are kind of thinking, does this mean that GTA is not going to get a physical release on PlayStation? Maybe? But 100% it's going to get a physical release. There's no way. There's no way. Okay? The reason that Rockstar removed their advertising, their rebranding of the PlayStation logo to be GTA 6, by the way, was this announcement. So, Rockstar is going to be very upset if they don't get a physical release. I think the full release cadence of GTA 6 is going to roughly go like this. There's the pre-orders, there's the deluxe edition that you have to buy. Then after that, it's a little bit of time is going to pass, and there's going to be the collector's edition, and then there's going to be the actual disc edition. Then there's going to be the PC release, where everyone who bought it on PlayStation is gonna have to buy it on PC now, because who the fuck wants to play on PlayStation when you have the chance to play on PC? Let's be real. And after that, the same thing is gonna happen for PC. They're gonna try and stick you into that. They're probably gonna do the 3 days early or 5 days early, play early type of thing on PC. I think that's where they're gonna do, because the hype is gonna just be too big. And it's gonna be tied to the deluxe edition or the deluxe edition. Again, they're gonna do everything. Rockstar is gonna do absolutely everything to get that last cent from grandma's Christmas gift out of your ass.
Physical release. Now, if you want to see how people respond to this type of thing, Insomniac made this tweet about Wolverine. It says, "Can you kick it? Yes, you can." Seems like a Bob the Builder reference, I guess. I don't know. But someone responds saying it looks like a great game and asked if it will have a physical or code in a box edition. And Insomniac responded saying the physical version will include a disc in the box. This response got 51,000 likes. The initial tweet only has 15,000 likes, and I guarantee a lot of that came from the people liking the response to the tweet. This is how much people actually kind of give a fuck about this. I also want to point out that Sony was kind of clowned on by some other companies. Like Domino's UK posted, as of April 1st, 2027, Domino's UK will cease production of physical pizzas and shift to production of digital pizzas only. Consumers will be able to download our full range of delicious pizza
Based.
codes and, using the power of imagination, enjoy them in an entirely virtual sense. This tweet has 500,000 likes. And I don't think we'll be seeing any Sony and Domino's partnership anytime soon. Proton also got in on it. Now, what I thought was kind of funny was Bethesda. Bethesda made this tweet from the official Elder Scrolls Twitter account about finding physical treasures. And it was just an ad about how they're releasing a physical cartridge for Oblivion Remastered on
Oblivion Remastered, the game that literally doesn't run. The game that literally does not work. And Bethesda has let it high and dry.
Switch, which just doesn't hit the same when, isn't this you? They made this tweet about physical code-in box editions of Skyrim and Fallout 4 in April. That's 3 months ago. And now they're switching sides all of a sudden? From the bottom of my heart, Bethesda, go fuck yourselves. Now, I want to get to the point of why this is really a problem. Of course, preservation of media is very important, but something that's probably more important are the data.
I don't care about preservation of media. I care about me owning stuff. I like owning stuff. I enjoy owning stuff. I do not enjoy these companies that are gonna not allow me to do so. I don't like that. I like owning things. I'm against everything that's not that, in fact.
Day cost of your life. And something physical media provides is another option. You don't have to go to the PlayStation Store to buy a game if you can go on Amazon and get a 51% discount on that fucking game. This screenshot was taken yesterday, and so was this one. This one is from the PlayStation Store, where you can buy The Last of Us for $70, or you can get it for $34 on Amazon. And isn't this
Note how it's not The Last of Us 2.
just the most backwards thing you've ever seen in your life? You can get the physical edition with a game box, maybe a book, but most importantly, a game disc. You can get this for half the fucking price of the digital only version directly from the person that fucking made it. And this right here is exactly why Sony is doing this. They hate that you can go on Amazon and get The Last of Us for $35. They hate this. They want this gone as soon as possible. And so they saw GTA doing a code in box only, and they took that opportunity to just do it themselves too. This example is not alone. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, $29 on Amazon, or you can get it for $50 on the PlayStation Store. The remastered version on Amazon is cheaper than the normal version on Sony. How about God of War Ragnarok? You can get that for $32 on Amazon. Or you can spend $70 on the PlayStation Store. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, 41% off on Amazon, 0% off on the PlayStation Store. I mean, the examples go on forever. Here's Gran Turismo channel 7, it's 44% off on Amazon. Full $70 on PlayStation, of course. And there's really no other way to look at it. Physical copies are always going to be better than no physical copies for the consumer. With physical, there's more retailers.
Well, that's exactly the problem, isn't it? For the consumer. These companies are not exactly for the consumer. They are for, well, anything that's not the consumer, honestly.
Which means they're less expensive. There's an entire used market that, well, maybe not as big as it used to be. It's certainly still probably pretty big. You can, of course, share games with your friends or, sell them to your friends, whatever you want to do with them. And then there's the preservation. And then, of course, with no physical copies, of course, it's only available directly from the manufacturer. There is no competition. There's obviously no used market. You can't have a used copy of a digital game. There is some friend sharing, but I would bet that Sony's doing whatever they can to squash that as soon as possible. And most
Oh.
importantly for Sony, there is the control. They
Didn't Sony already implement some kind of thing that you can't just share accounts?
get control over all of it. They get all of the money for it. Now let's pivot to a bit of a fun fact. In fiscal year 2025, Microsoft made about $281 billion. Not a big deal. Not a big deal or anything. Now the Xbox portion of that
Made, but not profit.
was about $23 billion. Not bad, right?
Now it's actually pretty bad because this is what it omits. Xbox has been subsidized by Microsoft. We talked about this yesterday. Xbox has been subsidized by Microsoft for something like a decade. For every $1 they make, they lose 60 cents on top of that. So actually, they lose money for every dollar they make. It is pretty bad. It is pretty bad for Xbox.
$billion. Not bad, right? It's about 8% of Microsoft total. Now, Sony in fiscal year 2025 made about $82 billion. This is a hand-drawn chart, by the way. It may not look as accurate as it should. But the PlayStation brand accounted for about $31 billion of that. And I'm just pointing all of this out to show that Microsoft is a much bigger company than Sony. This actually doesn't even really show how much bigger of a company Microsoft is, but this is how much money.
All of that is going to change. Sony replaced their headquarters, by the way, a while now ago, from Japan, okay, from Nippon Place to America. Needless to say, that didn't go well.
They make. And this also shows how dependent Sony is on PlayStation. PlayStation is like 36% of Sony's income, whereas Xbox is like 8% of Microsoft's income. Now, with this in mind, you would think Microsoft would just want to compete a little bit more, right? They just don't seem willing to lose much money on Xbox. I just feel like Microsoft would come out soon and say like, hey, we're not going to end physical media. We're going to keep making discs. But the reports don't seem to follow that. Everybody is seemingly saying the same thing, that Project Helix won't have a disk drive, and I just don't fucking get it. I really
honestly doesn't matter. Who the hell is gonna buy the new generation of PlayStation or Helix or whatever they want to call it? No one. At this point, there's no point in owning a console. You're just better off buying a PC. That's it.
I don't understand. A disk drive itself, it's not that expensive, right? We've been doing disk drives for a long fucking time. I just don't think it could be that expensive to add a disk drive to your console, like compared to the everything else, you know? But this whole fight over physical media, I mean, it could be something, a huge factor at least, that decides the next console generation. And it just
Oh, well, something has to decide the already failed and dead next console generation. That is true.
doesn't seem like it would break the bank for Xbox to throw physical media a bone here. I just think it would do wonders for their brand moving forward if they came out with a hard stance, a pro physical media. Maybe do an ad like Sony did. I mean, that would be funny, right? Asha, you have
Asha cares about AI, not physical media. That's no point. Xbox is just an AI experiment at this point for Microsoft.
the opportunity to do something very funny.
And as we all know, AI is not doing good.
And we hope you take it. Because if you look at Sony recently, I mean, you have live service failures. They have their own layoffs going over there. Of course, there's the Bungie fiasco. They're raising PS5 prices over and over. They deleted like 500 movies that people paid.
Fun fact, all of this is something that we have talked about.
Paid for off PlayStation, fucking crazy. Just saying, like, just get fucked basically. And of course, the ending first party physical media thing. I mean, there isn't like any good Sony PR I can think of in the last. Like, when's the last time they did something good? I also want to mention the reason for console price increases. Like, obviously, everybody knows about the RAM and memory. Sure.
Yep, I mean, you need to understand the data center that's gonna be put in your backyard, and don't worry, your next door neighbor Sylvia, who's deaf, doesn't exactly care too much, so it's fine with her. It's probably gonna be fine with you also. Don't worry about it, don't think about it too much. It's just, this is just one of the many sacrifices the AI data centers are gonna ask from people, and you just need to understand that this is the world that you live in now. And the data AI center has a little bit more rights than your human flesh ass, okay? As Jeff Bezos said, you should drink less water because that water could be used to power or cool or whatever AI data centers. Okay? That data center is going in your backyard and there's nothing you can do about it. You can either choose to live in the modern age of glorious data AI centers or whatever the alternative is. But that alternative is not happening, okay? Listen, it is what it is, boys. That's why we have a shortage of stuff. And, I mean, if they're gonna invent a way that you can run in the hamster wheel and generate power for AI, you're running in that hamster wheel for that AI center. So I hope you're ready for the future, because it's probably looking like the inside of a hamster wheel, however that looks. In any case, that was drawn out 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye.